These episodes are less than 30 minutes, but they flow so well. They get to the point, and I'm saying that they do a good job. It might be comic book storytelling, but they got a lot of story to tell, and they got a lot of characters to balance. And so I don't know what it's going to be like when all these characters have to get together and fight Apocalypse later on and whatnot, but having this split up where we focus on them in their own periods, that works. That helps out a lot. For being 30 minutes, it doesn't feel like they're missing any kind of story. Mm-hmm. It feels like they're covering just enough. They're really, bam, getting to the point. And you don't feel like at all, like, man, you guys are glossing over shit. You're rushing this. You don't feel that at all with this, man. Let's talk about X-Men 97, season 2.
Season 2.
Did you see any of this at all? You probably didn't.
I do not have Disney. That's the one app. Actually, I don't have Apple either, so I missed out on 2 shows that everyone's always talking about.
Well, that's fine. Let's start out this discussion this way right here. Which X-Men is that? That's the triple X-Men right there.
Man, I still don't know how to make heads or tails of that situation.
Oh, so you know what I'm talking about then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, people. So we're going into season 2 of X-Men 97. If anybody remembers my review of the first season, I loved it. Thought it was incredible. But at the same time, a lot of the credit for that first season went to this lovely half-naked man right here. I think fully naked, actually. This is Beau DeMayo. Or Beau DeMayo. How you say his name? Is that?
I don't know. Let's go with Mayo.
Let's go with Mayo. In this case, I don't know about that. But that is Beau DeMayo, as Marco said over here. He's the executive producer for this, but
was the
executive. Yes, I'm sorry. Let me change that. He was the executive producer. Well, he produced the first season, so a lot of the credit went to him for it being so great. But then, as you can see right here, he also had a little side hustle going on with OnlyFans.
Oh yeah, okay. I'm still trying to make heads or tails of that story because I talked to a super X-Men nerd about it, and he was like, "Yeah, no, he did everything wrong." And then I hear other stories that are like, "I don't think he did."
He's looking at you saying, "Did you say heads or tails?" Well, I can offer both for you, Marcos, but just join my OnlyFans. This guy, he has an OnlyFans. I had an OnlyFans. I don't know, but Disney found out about it, and that mouse said, "Not around here." Although he claims that they did know about it, they knew it was full disclosure. They were fully aware of it. It was a little side gig. But either way, they said, yeah, this is not a good look for the mouse. He doesn't appreciate it. Take your ass on, and now you can do OnlyFans full time. Meanwhile, we're going to keep X-Men 97 out of your perverted hands. You little nasty thing, you. And we're going to proceed with season 2. By the way, I have no judgment against OnlyFans at all. I'm not saying that this is bad. I'm not shaming or anything like that. What I was worried about is if you took the guy off of the show who is credited for making it so great in the first place, can it be as good?
Well, he still wrote season 2.
He did. Yeah. Okay. All right. So season 3 is going to suck.
When is part 3 ever that good?
Yeah, exactly. Well, you know what? He still wrote season 2. Is it, and even if you did write something great for the first season, who's to say that you can continue that, right?
Yeah, it's been interesting, some of the things that I've seen him that he had to fight Disney about when he was still part of the show. I think season 1, there's a scene where somebody calls Earth ghetto, like it's an Earth ghetto, and they were like, that's kind of anti-Semitic. And he's like, that hasn't been anti-Semitic for like 50 years.
Yeah, if anything, If anything, you think of the ghetto, you think of the hood. So I don't know, man. But you know what? What did he have to fight to keep for this season? Did he have any opportunity to protect the show and keep the same integrity and the same edge that it had before? With him gone, did Disney cut it out? Is the show still as good as it was the first time? Well, that's what I'm here to tell Marcos about right now. And let's go ahead and watch the trailer for, or at least a little bit of it, for X-Men 97, season 2. And I'll be back with my review. Oh, they said, really? They said he was also sexually harassing some people? Okay, all right, well, yeah, that'll do it. I didn't know that.
But he denies that too.
So who knows?
That's why I'm like, I go back and forth.
Yeah.
And just like I was talking about Ronaldo, I don't know. I'm not there. I don't know these people. All I can say is he's still supporting the show. He'll tweet about it.
Yeah.
Like, oh, Gotta enjoy this last episode.
You know what? To hell with him. It's all about me. What about me? I want my show. I want my show to be as good. So. Oh, there you go, y'all. So, let me see here, y'all.
Did the whole season drop?
No.
Okay.
No, 4 episodes dropped for critics and 3 for everybody else.
Okay.
So not critics didn't get much more than everybody else out there. Maybe more. I don't know. I know I read some things where some people watched 4 episodes. So I don't know how many were out there. But with this season here, you're not getting as many of the original X-Men this time around. They're there. What this is centering on, though, you have the Ultimate Mutant, Apocalypse, who's probably the X-Men's biggest threat. And so now they have to stop him. And one of the biggest hopes for stopping him is Nathan Summers, who is Cyclops' son. And also another dude who's a grown man named Cable. All this will, if you've been reading the comics, you know everything about it. If you saw a Deadpool movie, you know everything that's going on here. But in order to do this, it's going to take all the X-Men to unite together to defeat such a powerful foe, which is going to be hard because they've been split up in 3 different time periods.
Oh.
Yeah, so what's going to happen with these guys who not only have to defeat this great, powerful mutant, but they also got to get back to the 90s if they're going to do it. So, man, let me tell you something. Listen, it's only 3 episodes in, so maybe I can't really make a call yet.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I can't pass too much judgment on this, but I still love this shit as much as I love the first season, man. I am so into this. I am, and there's so many reasons why I love this, and I can't claim to listen. I watched the show back when it came out in the 90s. I wasn't a big X-Men reader in the comics. I mean, I have the comics I could afford, and that's what I stuck with. But I was aware of them. I
mean, most of the storylines are like from 1970, 1980. So, but by the time the show's coming out in 1990, whatever, like what is it? Days of Future Past is what, 1982?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly, man. But man, they continue to do what I loved the first season for. And as I told you, man, I got a lot of admiration for how they're telling stories here. Now, they're comic book stories. It's still comic book dialogue, comic book level acting. You're still kind of getting what you got from the cartoon back in the 90s. But I love the way that this season, let me see if I can find, I did not get I want y'all to see a little bit more than what I'm showing you there. That was actually a scene right there. I thought that was a whole trailer that Disney put out. I guess it wasn't. But one of the things I like about this is, so at the beginning of the show, at the beginning of the season, I told you already, you're dealing with 3 groups. So you got one group that is in the future, and here you go, like Scott Summers, Cyclops, his wife, his son, Nathan Summers, Storm, they're all in the future. 3960.
The Chinese shirt?
What's that? Oh yeah, that's Nathan Summers right there.
Okay.
The mutant bishop was able to go and open the doors of time and send one guy over. What is Storm's boyfriend's name?
T'Challa?
No. Yeah. That's one of them. Well, she had a lot of dudes, man. Yeah, Forge. So Bishop is going to one time period, Forge is going into another. So Forge goes into the future, 3960, where you have some of the mutants up there who are getting ready to, in their own way, prepare for apocalypse. You have another group that is in the present, in the 90s, and then you have a group that's in the past, 3000 BC, which is where we get the origin of apocalypse. And the first 3 episodes, they do a great job of focusing on each time period. So, the first episode, you're in the future. Second episode is in the 90s. And the third episode is in the past.
So that's why they dropped 3 episodes like that.
Exactly, which was very smart. There you go. This smart man right here knows what's going on. But each episode is only 30 minutes. Is what I admire about this, man. At a time when we got a whole lot of bloat for a lot of shows. Yeah. Some shows now are the length of movies, hour and 20 minutes or so. And I know that this is an animated show, and it's you could technically say it's a family show. It's definitely not for little kids, and I know it's just storytelling. I mean, I'm comic book storytelling, but man, these episodes are less than 30 minutes, but they flow so well. They get to the point, and I'm saying that they do a good job. It might be comic book storytelling, but they got a lot of story to tell, and they got a lot of characters to balance. And so I don't know what it's going to be like when all these characters have to get together and fight Apocalypse later on and whatnot, but having it split up where we focus on them in their own periods, that works. That helps out a lot. For being 30 minutes, it doesn't feel like they're missing any kind of story. Mm-hmm. It feels like they're covering just enough. They're really, bam, getting to the point. And you don't feel like at all, like, man, you guys are glossing over shit. You're rushing this. You don't feel that at all with this, man. Did you see the first season?
I did see the first season. I feel exactly like what you were talking about, how the plot was always progressing, but it was also very short episodes. But that is something that I feel like cartoons get right a lot more than TV shows.
Yeah.
And it may be just because they're used to being 30 minutes, but you watch an hour-long episode of Game of Thrones, it's like you could have cut like 30 minutes of this.
Man, think about Stranger Things.
Yeah.
I know everybody's dogpiling that show, but Stranger Things had a lot of characters, but there was a lot of stuff that felt like filler.
Yeah.
And man, this does not feel like that at all. This has so much going on, so much, and especially with time travel. Man, when you get a time travel, you jumping all over the place. Just what happened with Marvel when they were doing all the multiverse. It got convoluted.
I was about to say, I think every cartoon has a better time travel than most adult movies.
Why is that? why is that, man? What is it? Is it because they're getting to the point? Is it because animation costs a lot and they just they can't afford to keep going? I don't know, man. But they're going all over the place.
But it also just makes sense, like, for the most part. Like, I haven't seen this, but it's probably makes more sense than Terminator 4 or Terminator 5.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, there's no reason for it to do it, but it does.
Yeah. Nah, man, this is, and it's, I just admire, again, just the streamlining of the storytelling with so much to do. Extremely admirable. But the first episode, man, the first episode, listen, it's very interesting. It could be, and it could be convoluted, but this is the one that centers on, as I was saying, and this is part of the efficiency of the storytelling. Like, they really know how to compartmentalize things and center on what's important. So, in the first episode, it really is centering on Nathan Summers, the son of Cyclops and Madeline Pryor, who is Cable in he's the adult version of the future. So already there, you got a lot of stuff going on, a lot of things that could be confusing with time travel, but somehow it all feels like it flows organically very well. Doesn't feel like it's too confusing. Even if you just come into it, man, it's explained very well. The third episode, the third episode is the origin of, as I told you, is the origin of Apocalypse. And that, with that one, I like that episode too. Like I said, again, I think that they do a much better job at fleshing out the origins of Apocalypse than they do in that damn movie they came out with a few years ago, X-Men Apocalypse. That damn, where the damn Power Rangers version of X-Men right there. They do a much better job. This was a movie, y'all, $100 million movie, and they did a much better job explaining and fleshing out Apocalypse than they did in that film right there.
The movie also had some of the best actors that have ever been involved with X-Men.
That's one of my favorite actors right there.
Yeah,
Oscar Isaac, as people say, looking like Ivan Ooze over here. He don't even want to be in this shit. Look at him. Yeah, they had some amazing actors in there. And because it was a movie, they had priorities on just trying to wow people with the effects and trying to get by on the profit of the X-Men. They didn't really flesh that character out that well. Leave it up to a show, and a show like this, which actually does well at efficiency, and centers on storytelling. They did a much better job with this, man. The second episode is my favorite though, man. It's so if anybody knows the comics, you know who X-Force is. You know who X-Factor is. And this one shows Cable, the adult Nathan Summers. And you know, and he's trying to stop the Four Horsemen. That's Apocalypse's crew.
Yeah.
And he's trying to stop them in present time in the 90s. But to do that, he has to evade X-Factor. And X-Factor, they're the mutants that work for the government to capture other mutants. And what I like about this is that being that it's in the present time and they're trying to work undercover from the government, it sort of feels like a sort of a spy movie in a way.
Oh, that's cool.
A undercover agent type thing where they have to like try not to blend, they have to try to blend with the rest of society, and they're mutants, so that's not easy. They try to evade any kind of government detection, and that was a lot of fun to me, man.
Tail him, but keep your distance.
Cable, we lost him. Anyone got eyes from above?
He's making for an alleyway up north.
Oh yeah! There we go with the action right there. And they jump right into it, man. And that's a fun part of the show. I love how everyone has its own tone. Like one is a sort of a historic, epic action movie. The beginning is a futuristic, apocalyptic film or story, and this one's like I said, sort of a undercover agent spy story. But man, what I love about episode 2 is that episode 2 shows just how much this show keeps maturing. I was surprised at some decisions they made for this, because I keep thinking about the Saturday morning cartoon show, and then I keep thinking Disney, and then I remember, oh yeah, that last season was pretty edgy, man. They showed some things I didn't think they would do, certain language, death going on, but
the guy that we were talking about earlier, Mayo, like he was really pushing to do a lot of these storylines, use a lot of the language and the death.
That's good.
Usually. The weakness that I thought it was going to have, which it does not have at all, was Saturday morning cartoons are very cyclical. No one's going to die. Everything will be fine. No.
That's not happening here, man. And that's what's great about this. So, man, look, there's a lot of X's going on here. Yeah. It's X-Force, X-Factor, X-Men. The big X here, Gen X, Gen Xers, man. Listen, this is for the kids out there who watch this, this is for all the people out there who watch this as kids, and also for a new generation out there. But this is for the people who grew up watching the cartoon and the show kind of matured with you. But really, man, this is also for the Gen Xers who watched the show and they were thinking, all right, you know what? Being an adult, I really admire the storytelling they're doing here. I admire the characters. They really put a lot of thought into this. I wish it could probably be just a little more violent. I wish it could be a slightly more adult so that I, as an adult, can enjoy it. But I get it. It's a cartoon. But man, and the reason why I say that this is really big for Gen Xers out there who were watching at the time is because they play on that demographic. This is set in the 90s, man. So there's a lot of stuff that's in this season that is very 90s that Gen Xers would appreciate. I'm not saying it doesn't appeal to millennials also. No, it does. That's what I'm talking about. Those are the ones who grew up with it as kids. I'm talking about people who were adults at the time and were into certain things as early 20-somethings.
Yeah, that comics then was something that you had to like not be loud about.
Yeah.
You were weird, Kevin Smith weird in the 90s if you like the X-Men.
And I'm giving this a compliment. I'm speaking to the power of the show. It was for kids who watch, and the kids did watch it, but there was a large Gen X audience for this who watched it because they recognized how good it was too. And I'm going to explain to you why. One of my favorite scenes in episode 2 is Jubilee. Jubilee gets into a fight with X-Factor. And I love that fight scene. And I can't really play the music. I guess I could play some of it. But man, first of all, it's a great fight scene. For being animated, it's some incredible animation, and the fights are effective. I mean, those fight scenes are animated to a sense where they can rival some live action fight scenes. But while she's fighting, they're playing music that was very Gen X at the time.
That was another thing that I don't want to harp on this note too many times, but fight choreography in these cartoons is better than fight choreography.
Yeah, man, because they got time to really choreograph it, man. Every you're doing a fight scene frame by frame, pretty much, So, but while she's doing that fight scene, there is a very Gen X song that's playing, and I don't know if, and I don't know, kids wouldn't know it if you at the time, probably, but this, it was aimed towards Gen Xers, man. It was a song called "Volcano Girl" from Veruca Salt. We have to give a word out to our sponsor, which is BetterHelp. Hey, I've been going through a lot. I might need some BetterHelp, man. I've been talking about them. Listen, whether you're going through something like I'm going through, some deep family issues, or I don't know, man, you just want to organize your life. It's summertime. Some people trying to do some cleaning around the house, trying to get the mind organized so they can just go on about their day and reach some of those goals that they have set out for themselves. Hey, therapy is good for all that. From the deep issues to things just like organizing your mind. Even online therapy is better. And the best place to start with online therapy, you know what it is, BetterHelp. Because with BetterHelp, they have over 30,000 therapists, and BetterHelp is the largest online therapy platform. They've served over 6 million people globally. And BetterHelp does the initial matching work for you so that you can just focus on all your therapy goals. All I got to do is fill out a short questionnaire that helps identify your needs and any preferences that you may have. And their 12 plus years of experience typically means that they get it right the first time. But if they don't, you know what? No problem. Just say you want another therapist. They'll get you another therapist. No questions asked, no hassle. And here's something. Hey, look, you're already thinking about this. Your mind might already start feeling at ease. Here's something that's going to even make it easier for you. A little initiative, something that's going to put your mind at ease. This code right here. If you go to betterhelp.com/doubletoasted, you'll get a 10% off your first month. I want to thank BetterHelp for sponsoring this portion of the show. And I want to thank all of you out there for your help. Oh, well, not your help, but your support. Well, you helped me a few days ago, so thank you. Thank you.
When you started the review, somebody commented, they made Jubilee cool. Man,
she has one of the best scenes of that, so far in all these episodes right here. And I'm not saying that, again, millennials wouldn't know that, you wouldn't, but this was a very, Gen X thing at the time. And like I said, I'm not saying it's for one group or the other. It's, as you say, it's cross-generational, man. And they seem to realize, all right, you got millennials who grew up with this, and so we're going to age it up for them. And for all you Gen Xers out there who were watching this and wished it had a little more edge, well, we got you too. So I thought that was great, man. This is something I wanted with animation for a long time. It's and to that point, it's nostalgic without doing nostalgia. What really got me with this, man, is there's a lot of death in this. There's a lot of, and I'm talking about stuff that's, man, there's cold-blooded murder by the good guys in this, man. And I kind of agree with it. Cable, I love the way they wrote him as he's almost like the Punisher. It's like he's morally ambiguous, man.
But he's supposed to be like that.
Yeah, and I love that. Yeah. I love that. And a lot of times you reluctantly want to agree with him because it's like, yeah, that person's bad. They got to go. So yeah, man. Yeah, he's ruthless. Yeah, exactly. I love that with him. But there's a lot of stuff in here, man. There's they hint at dismembering people. A lot of horse death. A lot of horses get it, man. There's a late a horse in here in a minute, man. Look at that horse ain't walking away from that, man.
That's usually one of the big no-nos in movies.
What's that? Killing? Oh, I know. Yeah. And they do it in this show right here, man. I was like, I thought the horse would get up and walk away. And it's like, nah.
Horse is usually like a one step below dog. You don't kill dogs in movies.
Think about all the westerns you watch they shoot and the people riding the horses, they would always get it, but the horses never get hit.
I just randomly watched The Magnificent Seven, the one that was remade with Denzel and Chris Pratt.
Yeah.
They straight up tell the horses to leave before they start shooting.
Really? Yeah. They're not holding back on a lot of things. Yeah, I love that. I think that's really good storytelling, man. There's a lot of, even when you see Apocalypse in his origin story, man, again, they're giving you a lot of They give you a lot of backstory to have you feel something for this character other than villainy. You know, what he's been through. I mean, after all, the dude was a slave. You know, he's got a lot going on. You know, a lot of moral questions here. You know, for a show that, again, is pretty much an action-filled comic book show, there are some deep themes in here, deeper than you would expect for a show like this. I love what they're doing with that. Animation is still great. It's as you can tell from the trailer, man, it's more polished. I think it's even more polished than probably the last season. Maybe it's just me. But you know, because of fight scenes like that, colors are what really stand out with this, though. This is the colors in this show is so vibrant, man. And you know, it's just if nothing else, it's just a beautiful show to watch. I mean, the animation is gorgeous in this. And a lot of times it's like, yeah, you can tell it's a throwback to good old fashioned 2D animation, even though it might be enhanced and polished with some modern tech. But with those colors in there, it really is a comic book come to life. Yeah, man. Dialogue is one thing that it might be an issue with some people. If you thought it was corny last season, hey.
I didn't think last season was that corny.
You know what? I thought that it was, but I thought that was just kind of
Milky Way Ghetto was what he wrote.
What he wrote? Milky Way Ghetto.
Yeah, that's what he had to push
That's
through.
what got them?
Yeah. That he got into a big argument with Disney about you wanting to use that line.
Oh, that's it?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know the other. There's so many worse things that they could get mad about. Wow.
Yeah. But it does kind of make sense with Disney just being like, hey, this is the brand that needs to appeal to. But I just felt like sometimes you need to let people off the leash.
Yeah. Well, you know, considering that there's a lot that could be said, you need a dialogue like that, I think.
Yeah.
Because, and it doesn't bother me. I think the dialogue is corny here, but I don't think that it's bad. I just thought that it was reflecting maybe a throwback to comic book writing. And also it's kind of like what the show was like. Yeah. I think it's still a throwback to and an homage to the original series with the dialogue being like it is. It didn't bother me. Now, if some people, it might not get it, but I thought that was on purpose, the way the dialogue is written.
A show that I couldn't get through very much was Titans, because it was based on the Teen Titans. And I had an issue with that dialogue trying to be too different from the cartoon, being too dark and edgy, as opposed to just stick to the genre that you're in, kind of.
That's what this feels like, man. Yeah. Look, it feels like it really is sort of a take on what comic book writing was like, you know, especially when these comics were coming out, like you say, during the 70s and 80s.
Yeah.
And also, as I said, it's a throwback to the original series. It doesn't bother me. But if some people don't realize what it is, if you never saw the original show, if you never read it, you know, any comics or anything, if comics not your thing, it's going to sound really hokey, but it didn't bother me at all. Again, I thought it was intentional. But yeah, man, I like this a lot. I'm going to go with, at this moment, I really can't rate the whole thing because I didn't see the whole thing.
Yeah.
But if I had to give it something at this moment, I give it a very high full price. Out of all those Disney shows that they came out with, that was, you know, we had a glut of them that came out for the MCU.
Yeah.
Out of all those, if you ask me, like, what's one of the best TV shows that they've done that comes from Marvel, that's on Disney Plus right now, this will be it. This and probably Wonder Man. You know, no disrespect to any of the other shows out there that were really good, but I think seriously, this is one of the best that they've done.
It sounds good. I'm looking forward to catching up to it. Probably this week at some point.
So you liked the first season?
I did like the first season a lot. I think it was only 8 episodes, though. That's what makes me think that you're halfway through it ish.
Yeah. So you know what, man? If you liked it, then check this season out. That, like I said, I think they kind of upped the edge on this a little bit.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And they're not holding back on certain things, man. When they did something, I was like, well, I ain't gonna go there with that. I'm like, oh shit. I was so tired when I came in. And it had nothing to do with the show. The show was entertaining me just fine, but I was so tired when I came in. I'm trying to get through these 3 episodes before we do the show. I'm falling asleep, and then they did something. I'm like, I'm awake. You know, they got my attention. I was like, I didn't think they were going to do it, and I'd be damned if they didn't go through with it. And I was like, wow, respect to this show right here, man. I gave the last season a Better Than Sex. by the end of this, once I get through all the episodes, it might be there. But for right now, just to be on the cautious side, I really love it. It's just appealing to me. I love what they're doing with this. This is one of my favorite things to watch right now after these 3 episodes. And I can't wait to get to the rest of it. But just to be on the cautious side, I'm going to give this a very high full price. We'll see what happens.
I'm always just a little skeptical just because of how I feel like no one can write Apocalypse well. Like even the first time they did it in the 90s wasn't done very well. And the movies obviously have been terrible.
Yeah. Yep. So no, I don't listen. I'm not in a position to tell you much about Apocalypse. I can't tell you anything about this character. I can just tell you what I saw from the movies and what I've heard. Because Martin has said something similar to what you said about Apocalypse. Like Apocalypse isn't a favorite of a lot of people.
Yeah,
but I think they're handling the character very well right here.
Sounds great. Oh yeah, maybe Martin will have a different opinion next week. But for right now. Look forward to it.
Yeah, no, I'm loving this, man. What are y'all thinking about this? Anybody not liking the show, which is cool? Anybody going all the way to like a better than sex already? What do you think? Dio Rise, I love it. Let's see. Yeah, I can't wait. Yeah, Hector, man. I didn't want to spoil anything, but Hector is Professor Xavier here. Well, would you look at that? You made it to the end of the video. That means you really like us. So just go ahead and press that like button and subscribe while you're at it. And check out our other channels, our social media like Instagram, TikTok, and our Patreon where we have new stuff coming up all the time. And we'll see you on the next video.